Welcome to the station crew. Enjoy your stay.
I have explored chemistry to heal myself from a random disease in the last episode. It was quite a complex one, but we managed to deal with it. We also created some plastic, so now we are covered on the basic materials that you can use in the protolathe to build stuff. But now I want to focus on other materials that we have already talked about a little bit, but I just want to showcase this crafting menu in a bit more detail. I do want to show it off because I'm the author of this current crafting menu, and it's a shame because people barely know that it even exists because of this small icon on the bottom right. If you know that there is this crafting menu with a lot of designs, you actually have a lot of possibilities unlocked to you with this crafting menu. There's a lot of recipes here for different categories. You can do furniture, robotics, other stuff. And I have already touched on this in a couple of previous episodes when we made some stuff for chemistry, when we did some equipment. But right now I want to talk about this material tab that you can see on the right. So the materials are ordered in the frequency of usage in the crafting recipes. So the iron is the most common one that is used to make a lot of stuff because it's just a basic starting material. Next one is a cardboard. It's very high here, mostly because there are a lot of different boxes of different designs that are basically the same. They just look different. And we don't have the access to cardboards right now. We will have plenty of it when we delve into the Botany stuff, and we will be able to print this cardboard in a biogenerator. But right now we don't have such possibility. And the next, in the frequency, you can see there's a wooden plank that we have already used to create that mortar that replaced the reagent grinder for us. And right now I want to dig into some other recipes here. In particular, I'm interested in paper because we're out of paper. We used the scrap paper to write down a recipe in the previous episode, but now I want to create a fresh batch of paper. So I can use the wooden planks, I can use the water. If I search for paper, you can see that it shows me the recipe for it, and now I need the hatchet. So here it is. I will print it out in the protolathe. And with these three items, I can now make this hand-pressed paper bundle. And when it is done crafting, and I receive a bundle with 30 sheets of paper that I can write on. They're perfectly fine white pieces of paper, and this hatchet can be turned back into outlays for the materials. Right. Other than that, we can also make other stuff. Let's take a look at what we can make. So there is a baseball bat that is a basic tool for fighting. There's a drying rack that I will create in a bit. We will need it. But there is another thing that I want to make. So this is a notice board. Since now we have this paper, we can start attaching the paper to the notice boards. And I want to keep track of suggestions of people under the YouTube videos. So here we have the notice boards. I can stick them onto the wall. Let's make this wall into the notice board wall. And it doesn't allow me to place it on this wall because there's this fire alarm, but I can easily deconstruct it with a screwdriver. Then, I made a mess with a screwdriver, then cutting the wires with a wire cutter, then using my crowbar to remove the electronics, and then use a wrench to take the frame out. And let's say that I want to place this frame here. I will take this wire, the electronics back into the place, and screw it back in with a screwdriver. And now I can finally place this notice board on this wall. Also, you cannot see it from this side, but on this wall there's actually a sign, and we can also take it down with a wrench. And since this sign is made out of plastic sheet, it says that it's made of plastic. I can put it back into autolathe. Yep, here's the one sheet of plastic that we get by reclaiming this wall sign, and we can add it to the bunch. Right, so I will take one piece of paper and write down a comment from the YouTube video. That's a comment from Dmito, and he was suggesting me to tame one of the carps because it gets lonely on Charlie, and they make good attackers and good alternative to jetpacks for exploration. So I hit save, and now this paper has this suggestion, but when I put it on the notice board, I cannot see what the contents of the paper are until I look at it. So we can use another thing that is a labeler that we can use in our hand to make some label text. Let's say tame a carp, and then click on the paper, and it made it have this tame a carp label. So now if I put this paper on the notice board and I click on the notice board, I see that there's a label. Right, so 3 notice boards, they will be indicators of things that I plan to do. So this will be our backlog. Hopefully we'll get more comments and I will put more paper there. This will be the active tasks, and this will be the done tasks. Right, so now that we have our Kanban board, essentially, the task for today is to tame a carp, and we'll work on it closer to the end of the episode. Other than the notice boards, we can create barrels, and that will be the next item that I will need. So you need 8 wooden planks to make a barrel, and it's actually a very good item that many people don't know about, because it's essentially a stationary reagent container of 600 units. So you can place the contents worth of 6 large beakers inside of reagents, and let's say that it can store a lot of wine, a lot of sugar, a lot of other stuff, and even a gunpowder, and you can use it to blow it up. Right, so that's it for the wood. I will put it back because actually, let me make one more thing. So I can see that there's a lot of beakers in my inventory, and I also want to use this opportunity to upgrade my equipment right now. And out of the wood, we can also make a test tube rack that I have been talking about to store the test tubes. What's good about it is that you can just place it in your bag, and it will take the same amount of space as one of the beakers, but you can just transfer all your items, all your reagents from the beakers into small test tube rack. So we have some other reagents here, so I will remove those for now. And I will put my saltpeter for Botany into a test tube and put it in the rack. All right, now we have this beaker freed up, and I can put it in the construction bag. Then put our diethylamine into a test tube and put it in the rack. So you can see now that there are 2. Right, another beaker is free. Now there's our multivar. Let's put it into a tube and destroy the rest, 4 units. We don't really need those. There is this drinking glass with some lanturi. So I will put it into 2 tubes because it's quite useful medicine to heal ourselves from the burn damage. And there's this libital that is used to heal the brute damage, and we will make 1 tube out of it. Right, now this glass is not needed, and all these tubes can go into this test tube rack, and it's a very compact way of storing your reagents. If we need something, we can just go here and grab it. And now there are 2 glasses that are essentially empty and can be used for something. Okay, I also will take some sulfuric acid with me. I will not bring this chemical mixer for now, but I will take a little bit of this acid. So 10 units should be enough. And I will make a test tube out of it. And we will make a soy sauce out of it in a couple episodes. Right, awesome. I can even put this test tube back in the box, but I cannot put the tubes when it is inside the box. I need to put it outside to be directly in my bag to make sure that I can populate it with beakers. Right, there is also one thing that I want to show you with this reagent grinder. Right now it has some plasma, so I will remove this plasma out of here and grind a little piece of cable. So I will take one small piece of cable, put it into this grinder. Where's the pestle? Use the pestle to grind this. And this small piece of cable gave me 2 coppers, 2 reagents. And if I use this on a sheet of iron by splashing in combat mode, I can create another material that is called bronze. There's not many recipes for bronze. It's mainly a gimmicky thing. So if I go to the material and find bronze here, you can see that there are only 10 recipes. So there are bronze boots that quite nice if you're a clown and you want to just annoy people, because these boots made loud noises. And you can just play in people's minds with it, but I will not do it now. There's no one here. Another thing you can do out of it, let's say that you can make a bronze chair. You can make a floor tiles, you can make walls, airlocks out of the bronze, and you can even use it to make a tabletop. So if I make a table frame by first making some rods, and let's say that I want to put this table over here. Now I can use any material, and bronze is one of those materials, to finish the table. And it will yield me this awesome looking bronze table. You may want to use it for some role play stuff, or just to make your bar look nice. Right, before digging into the next part, I want to sort out this situation with materials here. So we have a lot of iron glass lying around. I cannot put it all in the protolathe because it's not upgraded. It cannot hold a lot of materials. But there is one thing that we can do to just store all of our materials in one place and make it available in all fabrication machines, and that is an ore silo. So let's go to the research console and find the silo. It is under the applied blue space research. When you hit on the details, you see what is needed for it. So there's this industrial engineering, which we already have unlocked. And then there's basic blue space theory, that researching it will give us tracking beacon, artificial blue space crystal that can be created with diamonds, but we barely have any. GPS device and xenobiology console. We will create one in the xenobiology episode, but right now I needed to unlock this node that's called Applied Blue Space Research, that will give us blue space beakers, syringe, which are basically beakers and syringes of higher capacity. And then there is a part replacer. We will definitely build it because we have a scarcity of materials and we need to conserve as much as possible. There is this mining satchel that will also be useful in the mining episode. And there's this ore silo board that I really need right now. So this node made this ore silo available here. I will put a glass sheet to create this ore silo board. Right, here it is. I will make this part replacer. Need a bit more iron, but that will be enough for now. And let's actually make a couple of stock parts. So right now I have only this tier 2 nanoservice available. So I've built 2 nanoservers, I built this blue space rapid part exchange device, and when I click on the servers, I put them inside this device. And what this thing actually does, you can see that the protolathe right now says that I need 7.5 units of iron to build this blue space part replacer. But if I put this 2 nanoservers into this machine, it will increase the material consumption efficiency, so it will be less than 100%, and build time will also be increased. So when I click on it, it replaced the microservers that were inside the machine with those that were inside of this part replacer. And now when I click on this protolathe, it says that right now it consumes less materials, and the same recipe now uses less iron, less glass, and less silver. So it's a very useful thing. But as I said before, it will consume a bit more electricity, but upgrading a couple of machines should be fine for us. Okay, what else we can do? We can put some machine boards in it, and different other materials like beakers, electronics. And when I want to build a machine, let's say that I want to place this ore silo in this corner. I'll put this back here. I will grab some iron for myself. So I need only 5 sheets. And I will make a machine frame that will give us this machine frame that we will need to attach to the floor with a wrench. And now I just can hit with this part replacer. First I need obviously to fill it with some cable coils, and then no, I need to put the cable coils into the machine first. Yep. So for some reason it doesn't want me. Okay, yeah, because it was only containing one computer board, it put it in, and you can see that now it's inside this machine, and I can complete the assembly with a screwdriver, and it gives us this ore silo. So ore silo is a central storage for the ore that is available on the station. There is an ore silo on every station, and it is placed in a very secured area that is a vault, and only quartermaster and some heads have access to it. And why is it important? Because you can use a multi-tool to click on the ore silo, and it will basically connect to every single protolathe and every single circuit and printer that you click on afterwards. So if I click on this protolathe, you can see that it has some materials. Now I click on it, and it said that the ancient protolathe is not connected to the ore silo. So when I put this stack of glass into the ore silo, you can see that the protolathe now has the amount of glass increased, and the ore silo now shows that it has all the materials that previously were in the protolathe. And when I connect, you do not lose any materials that were in the lathe. So let's see that right now it has 56.63 glass, and this circuit and printer is not connected. But when I connect it, right now the ore silo says 58 sheets. So you do not lose anything by doing this. And the ore silo is infinite. We can also connect it to this exosuit fabricator, and then just dump the ore that we have into the ore silo, including the plastic that we got in our inventory. Let's take some of it, and it will all be available in the protolathe, in the circuit and printer, and we can just extract the amount that we need from any machine that is connected to ore silo remotely. So we can place a circuit and printer on the other side of the station and retrieve the materials from the ore silo this way. Right, now let's actually dig into the rest of the crafting menu, because I also want to create a couple of more clothing items. And under the clothing, there is a lot of stuff. So some of it can be done with wooden planks, and some of it requires you to have some hides of different animals and different enemies. So we have a bunch of xenomorphs died here, so we could make an alien helmet. We could make some other stuff from leather, like this biker jacket, but there are some useful things like this botany gloves. I will need it to not die by picking up those plants like we did in the previous episodes. So it's a very important item that I want to work on next. Right, so for the leather, we can either use a biogenerator, but we cannot afford it right now. We have no plants to feed into the biogenerator. So I will butcher these aliens. Right, now that we gathered the aliens around, I can pick the knife. And using the combat mode, I can butcher every single one of them to retrieve their meat and their hides. This will create quite a mess. And it's very important to pick those up. That's actually very important to understand that these gibbs that are spawned when you butcher someone may cause a disease. So janitor is quite an important role in the station that is usually underestimated by many people, because if you will not clean up those gibbs, they will become rotten gibbs, and when you walk on them, you may get a random one that will be hard to heal, like we did in the previous episode. So I will make sure to gather all the gibbs, so there's only some blood left on the floor, and put it all into this wooden barrel that you can see now contains 150 units of liquid gibbs. We will be able to use it later to create some meat and for some other recipes for cytology. And the rest of the things, so since this chest is empty, I will use it to collect all the meat and the hides. Like so. The meat is not needed for me right now, but I'm interested in this hide. So here we got 6 pieces of alien hide, and to actually process them I will need to go to the kitchen. So I have my wood, I have my other stuff, so let's go to Charlie. Okay, we avoided the space carp, and we will actually tame this carp later. So now we have this alien hides, and first thing I need to do with them is I need to remove the hair of it. I will use a combat knife to do this, and just clicking on the hides I start cutting off the hair, and it will give me 6 pieces of the hairless hide. Now I need to make it into a weight hide. I can do it either by washing them in the sink, or just take a beaker, fill it with water, and then splash it onto the hide. So any way works. Now this gave us 6 sheets of wet hides, and now we actually need to dry these hides up. So I will build a drying rack, because I will need it for the later stuff in this corner. So going back to our crafting menu, searching for drying rack, and making it here. So if you are on the station, you can use the microwave oven, put the hairless hide and dehydrate it here, or you can craft a drying rack if you're on Lava Land or somewhere else, and dry it over here. It will yield the same results. So this gave us a leather, and this gave us a leather too. Right. So out of the leather, again in the crafting menu, we can go and create a bandolier for the shotgun rounds, but we don't have any shotgun. What I'm interested most is the botany gloves. And if I wear those, I can go and pick these nettles that are in this bag without any harm to myself. so I don't receive any damage to my arms with this. We can also make the botanical belt out of 2 sheets, and it's a very good item to store these various botany tools, similar way as I'm doing this in this engineering tool belt. So it will be very useful. I can also put some bottles with the fertilizers inside. And out of the remaining piece of leather, I can make a wallet. That's also a very nice thing. It will let me reduce the inventory usage because it goes into this ID slot, and it can contain many IDs inside. So I can put this engineering equipment ID there, I can put the Delta Station roboticist ID there, and I can even put some small items there, like let's say this Zippo lighter can also be placed inside there. Alright, and I already mentioned this in the first episode, but our boots can do this as well. So if I put the Zippo lighter inside the boots, you can see that I can retrieve it back with the Alt click, and I can save this pocket space by placing the dropper inside this wallet. Right, nice. Now the next thing I want to dig into is the clothing, because we're quite slow because of this duffel bag. And there's this linen bin that we have seen in the first episode. I will take 5 bed sheets, so that's enough. And also use a knife to turn this into cloth, and it gave us 15 cloth rolls. And again, going into the crafting menu, you can see that we may make some canvas to draw some paintings, but that's not our goal. Let's make a backpack out of it. So this backpack will make us faster, and it contains all the same items that I could store with the duffel bag. Right. Other than that, we can make some cook attire, because we'll do some cooking and we'll probably need some clean clothes for that. So I will go to this section where we have a white jump skirt. Oh, I didn't mean to create a skirt. Let me actually break down another sheet and make a jumpsuit. Now I will make gloves probably, a shoes, a soft cap, maybe nice. And we have only one piece left, and let's make this rag for cleaning up messes. So now we can put everything into this duffel bag and use this rag to clean the dirt in the kitchen, because we want to cook in a clean kitchen to avoid any diseases and bad things. All right, good. Now I want to tame carp. We now have a meat to create the bait for the carps. And we have this carps here, so I want to create a suit. It's called carp costume that we need 4 scales for. We have 1, 2, 3, and I think there are 2. Yep, there are multiple carps in this place. So 4 carps will be enough. I will butcher them the same way as I did with the xenomorphs, by going to combat mode and clicking on every single one of them. I will again grab all the gibs with this beaker, because it may be useful for later. Right, we have 100 units. And I will use this chest probably, so let's take these things out and put them into this chest instead. And with this chest, we'll transport this carp meat back to the kitchen. And you can notice how faster we are going just because I swapped my duffel bag for this backpack. Okay. Now I take the scales, and we don't need to break this down into the leather. We can just go into the crafting menu and make a nice chair out of the carp scales. But for now I need this costume because I want to tame a carp. I need to take my hazard vest off and also the hat. And this is the costume that lets me toggle the hood. And you can see that my character now has a carp hood. And when I'm wearing the hood, the carps will not be aggressive towards me. So right now I want to lure this carp in inside the station to feed him with some meat and basically make a pet out of him. Let's hope that he will get the bite. All right. Oh, it went into the pod. All right, the carp went to this tube and now is in the Charlie. So I will actually grab the meat that we have here with me and go to Charlie. Okay, so here's this space carp. I need to move somehow. Let me deconstruct this part. I will grab him up like this. It will not attack me. So what I can do now is I can make some meat, but it will run towards the meat. So I want to butcher the meat somewhere else. Let's say that I will butcher it on this table. And I will use my knife to create some meat cutlets. Let's try to feed this to the carp. Oh, damn it, it went there. Right, I can see that it made a little dance. So now it says that he seems to be happy to see me, and I can take off the costume, and this carp will not be hostile towards me. So it is our new pet. What we can do with this carp is we can ride it, and we can do this even in space without the jetpack, so it's very useful. And it is also our pet, and it listens to some of our commands. So if I want him to follow me, I can say follow, and it starts going after me. If I want it to stay, I can say stay. It sits, and now it's in their room. If I want to let it just free and do whatever it wants, I can say free it, and it relaxes. And I can also say to kill something. And if I point onto some living thing, it will attack, but it doesn't want to attack this megaphone because it's not a livable thing. So that's very nice. So I consider that the suggestion to tame a carp is down now. And I can finally put this paper to the done board. And in the next episode, we will probably dig into the botany.